Welcome to the Raising the Standards program. We're so thankful that you could join us today. My name is Dr. Gus Reyes, and I'm here in place of Dr. Ramirez. Dr. Andrew Ramirez could not be with us, but Dr. Ramirez, wherever you are, we want you to know that we are thankful for what you do and how you focus on faith and education and how to encourage parents to do the best they can to prepare their sons and daughters to do their best for God when it comes to academics. I want to also let you know that with me today is a co-host, Brother Bobby Minor, Pastor Minor. And so, Brother Pastor, we're glad that you're with us, and he's a pastor in Fort Worth. Tell us about what we're going to do today, Brother Minor. Let us know about this.
Well, it's going to be a great show.
Okay.
What we're going to be talking about today is encouraging Hispanic students to pursue a degree in social work and why it's important.
Wow. This is good. Well, I want to share with you a little bit about our guest today. First off, we have Dr. Crystal Diaz Espinoza, who currently oversees the enrollment management process for recruitment to the admission for the BSU, and she can tell us what that means in a little bit, MSW and PhD, I think we know that one a little bit, programs at Baylor University. She also manages the career services and professional development resources available to social work students and alumni. That's a lot of work. I hope they pay her well for that. You know, we're going to have to talk to her about that. And also, next to her is Dr. Jon Singletary. He's the Dean of the Diana Garland School of Social Work at Baylor University in Waco, Texas.
Wow.
His passion is to help students succeed in college and learn how to have a global impact for God. Praise the Lord for that.
That's an amazing goal and dream. So.
Welcome.
Well, thank you very much for having us. It really is a gift to be able to talk about our passion, how it connects to churches, and anything we can do to enhance these opportunities for students is what we want to do.
Amen.
Absolutely. Well, why don't we get started? Why don't both of you just share briefly with our viewers, just tell us a little bit about your respective roles.
Sure. Do you want me to start?
Yes, please.
Sure. So my role, I get to wear lots of hats at the School of Social Work, and my role is to primarily recruit students to all three of our programs. So our Bachelor of Social Work program is the BSW program. Our Master of Social Work program is the MSW program, and then we have our PhD.
Right.
And we're recruiting students from all over the nation and really all over the world. And so we are doing everything we can to get our name out there and tell students about how the experience at Baylor can be a life-changing one for them if they want to come to us in either Houston or Waco or virtually if that's something that they're interested in. And then my other two hats, as you mentioned, are the career services part and the alumni engagement. So I get to work with students while they're there, helping them with the job search and resume reviews and how to interview. And then when they graduate, I still work with them as alumni. We engage them with our school and just trying to keep them involved with us.
So I heard you say Houston,
Absolutely.
Waco,
Yep.
and online.
Yep.
Wow. So lots of options.
Lots of options for students.
Dr. John, tell us
Well,
about your
I'm
work.
the dean of the school, and all it means to be a dean is I do whatever Crystal doesn't want to do. We have a great faculty and staff, and my responsibility is just to help guide the opportunities that come before us in the school. And we are always seeking to be open to the doors that God is opening for us, and what it means to follow is full of rich opportunities in social work, and it's a great place to work.
And you tend to mesh social work and Christian faith together. Can you talk about that? Because that's rather unique.
It really is. And Baylor is a phenomenal place for that kind of opportunity. Of course, the field of social work is a large profession committed to meeting the needs of people in a variety of ways. And social workers are found in every kind of setting you can imagine. Hospitals and older adult homes and schools and the military. One of the things we take seriously at Baylor, though, as you mentioned, is the role of faith. So everyone who comes to the school will hear the phrase that we are seeking to integrate faith and practice. And what that means is believe that everyone is called by God, and we're always seeking to discern that calling, to make sense of what God is doing in our lives and where God is leading us. And for students, that's very important to discern what is my major, how am I supposed to live out my faith, how do I live out that faith in a future career. And so we want students to think about what it means to follow that calling into service. And there are many ways students could serve, but social work is a place to do that. And in our School of Social Work, we're not afraid to talk about what it means to live out that rich faith in a life of service by serving others in the profession of social work.
Wow.
So if I get this correctly, you help them to become world-class social workers but you also help them to be world-class ambassadors for Christ in the field of social work.
Wow.
That's exactly right. And social work is a really broad profession. People tend to think of social workers as working in the child welfare system. That's kind of the stereotype we have. However, social workers, as I mentioned, are really in all kinds of service settings. And one of the things that people don't often think about is social workers are always creating new opportunities to meet human needs.
Okay.
Social work is a very innovative and entrepreneurial profession.
Wow.
So just last year, we had a student who came to us who had his own truck driving company.
Oh, my.
And decided that he wanted to use that organization to raise money to meet the needs of youth in his home neighborhood.
Wow.
So he started a nonprofit serving youth. So he's running a truck driving business and a service organization for youth as a social worker.
That's pretty creative.
And as a person of faith, living
Sure.
out exactly what God has
He's
called
doing
him
that
to do.
because of God's direction
exactly
in his
right.
life. So you help people to focus on his call and their desire and passion to help people, because I think social work really is about helping people, right?
Absolutely. And what we try to tell students is, follow your passion. If your passion is to be around older adults as they're kind of transitioning, I think a social worker is meant to walk alongside anyone at any point of their life, whether they're a newborn in a NICU and they're struggling to breathe or they're struggling for life, even all the way through when, it's your last days and you're struggling to breathe. And those moments, a social worker can be there and help somebody kind of be whole again.
That's exactly right.
Did you see the way she looked at us when she said older adults?
Yeah, right. I'm thinking.
Even you might benefit
I'm
from
thinking she must be talking to Bobby. She's not talking to me.
I wanted to, Dr. Jon, you said something that made me really think, because, I encounter, as a pastor of a church, I encounter lots of young adults and youth that say they feel a call to full-time ministry. And typically, when they say that, they think of the traditional career path where I'm going to, go to seminary. While I'm in seminary, I'm going to be a youth pastor somewhere. And then when I graduate, maybe I'll be an associate pastor, and then one day a senior pastor or a lead pastor. So how could that student today that feels a call to full-time ministry see your program in this career field as a way to fulfill that calling?
Exactly my journey. As a young man, a young person of faith, I knew that God was calling me. I knew that I had a calling on my life to serve the Lord in some kind of ministry. I didn't know what that meant. I was trying to make sense of it. So I studied religion at Baylor. Still didn't know what to do with it, so I went to seminary. Still wasn't exactly sure what seminary was doing to prepare me for what I knew God wanted me to do with my life. And I knew it had something to do with preparing others for service, for caring for the poor, for caring for the vulnerable. And I learned some of that at seminary, but not enough. And so towards the end of my seminary experience, we all had to do an internship.
Right.
And a church internship is a common experience. Sure. But I wanted to do something a little different because I'd been a youth minister, I'd been an assistant pastor, an associate pastor, and worked with college students, and said, what else can I do in service? And they said, well, there are some nonprofit organizations you can serve, but if you're going to do that, you might want to look at social work. It's the first time anybody had ever mentioned social work as a connection to ministry. Well, at Baylor, we do that all the time. We're always helping our students understand that social work is ministry. Right. Now, we believe business can be ministry. We believe nursing can be ministry. We believe education is ministry. Yeah, right. But we're here to highlight the fact that social work is such a diverse field for helping others and meeting needs. And it is truly a way that God uses people to serve in ministry.
Wow. Wow. That's amazing. Now, why should a Hispanic consider studying in this field or consider a career in this field?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think, I know growing up in my own family and community is everything. And I think I have always been taught by my family to give back and to be a servant and to serve others and put others before myself. And I think that that's something that the field of social work does. It teaches you not only emotionally how to do that, but the skill set to do that. And I think for a lot of students, it might be a way to come and learn at Baylor in particular. You can learn how to integrate this faith and practice and then go back to your community and serve your community in a way that can be really transformative and powerful.
Wow.
Well, I think that's really important to just lift up, because a lot of Hispanic, as you say, a lot of Hispanic students and people in general, we're community focused. We care about the group, we care about the family. For us, family is everybody.
It is.
Neighbors.
It's not just family.
It's pretty broad.
Yeah.
And but because we care, social work is a stepping stone. It's a bridge to help practice that care in kind of a new space for us. So there's probably a lot of people right now that are thinking, I never thought about social work. I never, Miko, come here, listen about social work. You could be, you're a helper. Maybe you could help people go to social work. And I know you'd want them to go to Baylor, social work. And so, but I really applaud your mom and dad for doing a good job to you find that space where you can be helping people through social work. And but why Baylor? Why do we send them there? What would help me to know more about that?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think the other part that I think for all students, Hispanic students, but also just any student in general, social work is it's a professional degree, and that means, especially at Baylor, you're going to get a job afterwards, which is really important. That's the most important question families are asking.
A mom or dad.
Exactly. I'm talking to them
working.
now.
I want Mika to get their degree, but I want you in a job.
Exactly.
I don't want you waiting for a job. I want you to get a job. So what you're saying is there's a demand for social workers, and those folks get jobs.
Yes, and the degree itself prepares you by giving you an internship with your education, so you have practical skills when you graduate. And I can tell you from experience that we weekly get emails from nonprofit agencies, from organizations, and from companies all over the place asking to hire our grads and asking us to post their jobs. And so it's definitely a degree that's going to help you be placed in the field and doing something that you're really passionate about.
And that answers the question of why would I send my son or daughter to Waco, Texas?
Exactly.
To be in the Diana Garland School of Social Work master's degree, because other companies across the country are saying, we want to hire your graduates.
Absolutely.
So post these jobs, we want those students. And that's a good reason for Hispanic parents and Hispanic students to say, I need to know more about Baylor.
Exactly.
So how can a Hispanic student who may think, well, Baylor, that sounds great, but that's just way too expensive for me. How can they offset the cost that they may incur, going to a university like Baylor?
That's
yeah,
great.
Absolutely. There's no doubt that any college you go to is going to be an investment. It's going to be an investment of time and resources and energy, not only for the student, but for the family as well, because they're worried about their student. I know my family was like that too. And I think we do everything we can. So the advice that I would give to any students applying to programs is apply as early as you can, because that's usually where the financial aid and scholarships are. That goes for us as well.
Sure.
So if you apply early, that's typically where students are able to get a lot of financial aid. And then we also are happy to talk with students about ways to help subsidize and finance your education outside, where we talk about kind of ways that certain agencies are offering scholarships. A lot of churches, going to your churches is a great way to ask for help funding your education. But I think there's definitely a lot of scholarships and financial aid that we're offering. And I know Dr. Singletary can talk a lot more about ways that we're working to find ways to help students subsidize the investment that the education.
Well, real quick on that. I went the business route, and so, but I wish, is there a way, I mean, I was working on an MBA. Is there a way to connect that to social work? I mean, to get a master's there? Can you just give us a quick note about that?
Absolutely. It's not too late for you to take advantage of this opportunity.
I was wondering if he's considering a career change.
You're scaring me
He's been so
now.
inspired. He's ready to.
Baylor does offer several joint degrees.
Okay.
So in the Diana Garland School of Social Work, we offer a joint degree where you can earn an MSW and an MBA.
Wow.
A joint degree where you can earn your MSW and an MDiv or an MTH.
Okay.
And next year we'll have an opportunity to earn an MSW and a Master of Public Health. Wow. So there are seminary joint degrees, there's business public joint degrees, and a health-related joint degree.
Wow.
One of the other pieces related to that is there's different financial aid opportunities for each of these pairings.
So I like money. I
Yes.
like
Sure, who doesn't?
Yes.
So that's really good. So if you're watching right now and you're finishing a college degree, or you have a son or daughter that are finishing and they're thinking about, where do I go to get my MBA, or I'm interested in the social work idea, or I'd like to get them both, or I want to go to seminary, this is a good opportunity.
Absolutely.
This is a good way to mesh both of those career paths and those programs. And again, you're trying to help raise money to make sure that people are receiving scholarships. And I love this internship that you guys do.
Absolutely.
So is that like a senior year, or is that the last semester?
In the MSW program, the entire time that they're in school, they're also in their internship. So from day one, they start in an internship to give them those practical skills.
Some of those internships also have funding tied to them. So
Absolutely.
that's another way to help students pay for it.
Wow.
Just as you mentioned, Pastor, so many people do think the cost of Baylor is such a hurdle, but we really do try to work with our students to find the doors that God is opening, and sometimes it's through these internships. So if you want to, if you are thinking that maybe you want to work with young people in the school system,
Right.
we have a specialized program where you can do your internship in the public schools and scholarship to be able to do that.
Well, Dean, thank you so much for that. Right now, we're going to watch a video that helps you to know about